week's episode of Blood Blockade Battlefront, we get the full backstory on Black and White, otherwise known as Marion Will Macbeth. Halloween is here, Leo's eyes have been stolen, and it looks like the next big collapse of Hell Salem's Lot is about to begin. But before we get there into the big explosive finale of Triple B, we're gonna get some backstory on Black and White. This episode was mostly all about their backstory, about how when they were young, how their parents were known as casters, these group of badasses who went around the world saving people from peril. Then we have Black and White themselves, who are these psychic kids, where Will is actually way more powerful. He's like freaking Carrie. There's a scene where he starts crying and everything around him just starts lifting up, crumbling, all the farm animals, the ground starts ripping out, and it seems to be a pretty common occurrence for this kid. The problem is, Will is incredibly timid, and there's a point in his life where he decides he's not going to use his psychic powers anymore until he has the strength to actually defend himself. This combined with this other backstory about Mary, who's completely obsessed with photography, is all very schmaltzy and very heartwarming and makes you feel good. I just wish that it would have come a little bit earlier in the series, because by the time we get to the very end of the episode, shit is getting real. Because Leo's eyes are either being stolen or borrowed by Black, and I really can't wait to see what he's going to have planned for him. And there's also the deal with White herself. I'm not really quite sure if she is a ghost or not. I mean, she's not a ghost in the typical sense. They mention that she doesn't actually have a heart. She has like a barrier that's replacing it, and that's what's keeping her alive. And is she even alive after the end of this week's episode? There's a scene where Black supposedly kills her by shooting her in the chest with a gun in the church. It's a really weird scene. This whole episode just had this like weird, strange tone and atmosphere to it that's almost impossible to describe, and is making this like a very hard review to do. It's one of those episodes where everybody's going to get something different from it. The only thing that I think we can all universally agree on is that the next episode is probably going to pick up from that scene that we saw at the very beginning of the first episode, with this big, massive battle going on with all the blood breeds and all these creepy demons fighting in Hell Salem's Lot, and I really can't wait to see how they're going to handle it. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of Triple B? This is a strange type of episode because a lot happened and not a lot happened all at the same time. Like, we got a lot of backstory for Black and White. Some of it that we've actually already seen before, especially the scene where Black was sort of possessed by that weird demonic entity which is now using Leo's eyes to create this massive collapse or whatever the hell it is he's trying to do. I really have no idea what his big evil plan is and how it's going to involve Leo's eyes, but I can't wait to see where that's leading. My only disappointment is we're about to get to the finale, and I still feel like I don't really know any of the main characters of Blood Blockade Battlefront, the people from Libra. I kind of feel like they're like second fiddles in their own show. They're kind of like the Transformers in the Transformers movie, you know? Really, this is all about Leo, Black, and White, and that seems to be the main focus of the story, and that could be for either better or worse. What I will say is the writing is fantastic in the show. The character design is great. The atmosphere is really good. It just sucks me right in. It's just, this is not exactly what I expected from Blood Blockade Battlefront. Just say that name aloud. You expect a big, rambunctious, ridiculous action series, and it does have its action. It does. It just kind of lost its focus a little bit towards the end. But does that make it bad? Not at all. In fact, this is still an amazing series which has some fantastic characters, and I haven't even looked at the manga version of Blood Blockade Battlefront, and apparently this whole Black and White storyline is completely new and original to the anime-only version, and it still feels natural, like it fits within the confines of the series, like it was building up to something really big here. My only hope is that when they actually finally do wrap up this storyline and everything is done, that they decide to come back to this series in the future so we can get some more proper time with some of the other characters. What I will say is the Black and White story is still really good. It's handled well. The animation and the artwork is some of the best that I've seen from the spring 2015 anime season, which is definitely a reason to want to check out this show. There's a favorite character for everyone. There's a lot of things to get attached to, and I really cannot wait to see what they're going to do with the finale on this one. So I'm going to give this week's episode a 4 out of 5, a series that's making me care about filler characters, and that is a massive accomplishment. It also just happens to be absolutely drop-dead gorgeous and has an amazing soundtrack. So check out this week's episode, guys. It was pretty awesome. So you know I liked this one, but what about you guys? Did you watch this week's episode of Triple B? Please tell me what you thought about it in the comment section below. What do you think's going to happen in the finale? Do you really think that White was just killed by Black? What are your hopes for the end of Blood Blockade Battlefront? Please tell me in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching my review. Make sure to like it, share it with all your friends, and make sure to subscribe to the channel. You guys can also follow us on social media. Thank you guys again for watching, and as always, stay dandy, baby.